Let's be honest here, saying you show your love and affection to your partner the other 364 days a year does not negate the fact that they're going to want at least a token acknowledgement of that love and affection on Valentine's Day. It's true. And no, before you moan and groan about it, I'm not suggesting that you run out and buy an overpriced card or a hugely inflated bunch of red roses. For many of us, money is just a little bit tighter than usual and there isn't the budget to go all in on an expensive gift or a fancy dinner out. Rather, why not treat your partner, husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, or whoever to a thoughtful experience, whatever that means to you both? If you're like me, you'll probably need a little bit of direction from your partner, so to help me put together this video, I've enlisted the help of my wife, readers from the site, and some of my connections on social media to help us all save a little bit more money this Valentine's Day.
You're welcome!
What are my Valentine's Day money saving tips? Number 1. Choose an alternative day to celebrate. This tip is from Alan from LinkedIn and he's a reader of the site also. He and his wife choose to celebrate their Valentine's Day with a meal out, but instead of doing so on the Valentine's Day evening when the restaurants are jam-packed, they choose to do this on the weekend before or the weekend after. Personally, I love this tip. In my experience within the hospitality trade, key events such as Valentine's Day and New Year's Eve are those nights to avoid if you can. Changing this to a less popular night may mean that you get the choice of a full menu rather than a restricted or a set menu, and prices are often just a little bit cheaper. When the waiting staff are under less pressure, you might also get a little bit better service. Not their fault. I also recommend a slightly different tack to this approach. Rather than a meal out in the evening, we choose to go for lunch sitting instead. For us, we still get to experience the best of the restaurant and the food, but often lunches are just a little bit cheaper and we get home at a more reasonable hour. Parents of young children, unite. Number 2 is experiences, not things. You're going to hear this from me over and over and over again because I fully believe in it. 10 years from now, you will not remember the card or the flowers, but a trip to the zoo, a picnic on the beach, or a hike up a mountain will be far more likely to be remembered fondly. Spending time with your partner doing something that you both can engage in and you both enjoy is a great way to celebrate Valentine's Day, and it doesn't have to cost anything at all. But if you do decide to go on a picnic, for example, why not pick up some fancy sandwiches or some gourmet sausage rolls or your partner's favourite sweets? Spending a little bit on that experience can make a far greater day and give you some really great memories. Tip number 3. How about cooking your Valentine's Day meal at home? Cooking at home is often a necessity and not a luxury. How many days of the week do you make dinner a celebration? Spending time preparing the food, making your favourite dishes, sitting at the table, spending time over the meal, even just chatting over dinner, just like you would when you went out. The chances are that happens very, very rarely for most of us. Maybe on a Sunday, but very rarely. You could even head over to the library and check out a recipe book. Let your partner pick out a few dishes that they like and then surprise them with the one that you're most confident in cooking or you fancy also. Still have to enjoy it yourself. For just a few extra quid over what you would spend on the ingredients, you could turn that dinner into something really, really special. If you're not necessarily an amazing cook, like this guy, then you could look at some of the supermarket meal deals. Asda, for example, has an extra special meal deal offer which includes a starter, main course, dessert, drink, and it only costs 12 quid. Tesco, Sainsbury's, Marks and Spencer's all do their own versions of that as well, and you can usually pick up some really good food, especially around Valentine's Day, for not a whole lot of money. Tip number 4 is that you can use your credit card rewards, gift cards or supermarket vouchers to reduce the cost of Valentine's Day. Now, we're really getting into the thick of these money saving tips and I have to ask you, what is the point of collecting all those vouchers or points if you're never going to make use of them? Well, today is the day, my friend. Looking at your credit card rewards, could you use these to provide discounts on an activity or a free romantic night away? Ooh la la. However, make sure that you don't accidentally cost yourself more money by suggesting a subsidized trip that then turns into a full blowout. Plan wisely and you could save a lot of money. Were you also given gift cards for Christmas or for your birthday? Are they sitting in a drawer waiting to be used? Making use of these now can greatly reduce the cost of going out, eating out, or even staying somewhere. You could have also been collecting your Tesco money off vouchers or the money in your Asda Rewards app, and now might be the time to purchase slightly better ingredients than you normally would to make that meal extra special. By spending your vouchers, you'll take the sting out of any increased spending, and it may make that Valentine's Day just a little bit more special without any additional cost to you. And tip number 5 is, why not reenact your first date? Maybe the sweaty rave or the gig followed by a cheesy curry chip won't be the ideal date to reenact, but what about the first romantic date that you had? Reminiscing and reenacting your first date is often a great way to reconnect with your partner. Okay, Connor, that all sounds great, but what if I do actually want to buy a gift or a Valentine's Day card this year? In that instance, my advice for you is to buy your gift and card now, not the final few moments before Valentine's Day. It's not that the prices are normally going to increase closer to the time, maybe they do in the florist, for example, but with a greater selection of items to buy, you can always choose the better value option instead of what's left at whatever price you have to pay. Finally, I have a bonus tip, and that's number 6, and that is sharing is caring. Is it time for on your Netflix, Amazon or Spotify accounts? Household memberships can often be considerably cheaper than individuals and can save hundreds of pounds per year. Obviously, you must be working to the terms and conditions of these providers, but there may be money saved there. Or if it's getting extra serious, it might be time to move in with that partner.
Maybe not.
If you love this content, please like the video, subscribe to my channel, and if you want more in-depth information on saving money, earning money, or starting a business, head over to founder.co.uk and I share all this information in much greater detail.